shop, you shouldn't bring them in.
You can take the directionals in front over here. I'll check the back.
Yeah, it works fine. Along with the locks, the window, the sunroof, the mirrors. The power mirror also.
Good.
Dimming, yeah. Cigarette lighters. No noise from heating and air conditioning and stuff like that. All works all right. Rear screen. Yeah, all that stuff.
I checked that myself. I just checked that. Oh, we'll pick the car up.
Yep. That's great.
So how do you like these tires there?
But brake pads are low.
It's still hard for me to get used to seeing sway bars on the bottom of the car.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
This is yours. Okay. Oh, this is okay. No. Okay.
Tailgate loosening up.
The upper gate or?
It's not been fixed yet. I keep adjusting it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime. Up again.
We've had a problem with the tailgate on the door. Maybe when the answer look at this.
Check out the upper gate. Has it opened at all, or is it just noisy?
Okay, let's go.
We'll have it down. That's good.
This is
You ever take where the rat, never rat.
That's the way, yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what it takes.
Okay. This is good.
All right. Well, gap like on that side.
On the right side, get on the rubber rubber. You're rubbing it? Danny says it has basically nothing missing. Just tend to tighten sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, what you see going on here is a 72-point check of the vehicle that we do when we bring it into the service department. And what that entails is a check basically from bumper to bumper, everything, all the mechanical components of the vehicle, as well as things like even interior trim, anything that might be defective or there's any shortcoming in material workmanship in the cars. And
Is this for free?
yes, it is for free. Thank you. We plan on doing these twice a year, one in the spring, a spring clinic, and a fall clinic. And again, what we do is we send out invitations to the customers 2 or 3 weeks in advance and inviting them to come into the clinic and have the car inspected. There's no charge, as we said, for the clinic. It's just something we do more or less as a goodwill gesture to the customer to get them in, and if they have any problems, find out what they are and see if we can get them taken care of.
Now, what's the real bottom line for you?
The bottom line for us is good PR, good relationship with our customer. It's a lot like welcoming people into your own living room, like having a bunch of people over on a casual basis. It's not our intent here to sell. In the process, some people will find some things that they need done, and I'm sure they'll make appointments with us to have us done. But the main push behind the whole thing is just to get the customers back in a more relaxed atmosphere than you normally have during the normal work day, and just get to know your customers again.
I know there's another thing you do with them. I think there is, and I want to hear you
Well, maybe
say
you can
that.
help me. What is it you think that
Take
we
them
do
for a
with them?
test ride? You try and show them a newer model?
Yeah, that comes into play, but it's really not, in all sincerity, a push. We don't have anything really geared toward that, other than having vehicles available. If somebody comes in with an older car and has a lot of problems, let's say maybe we find it's going to cost $3,000 or $4,000 to repair an engine, a major problem or something like that. Then, of course, salespeople are available because it might be better for them to think about trading the car rather than doing all the repair work. So yes, there is a possibility of getting some sales out of it. But still, in all sincerity, it's hard for people to believe that somebody will do a clinic like this and really do it for free without trying to push a lot of things at them. That's not the goal. The goal is to, again, re-cement the relationship with a customer. If in fact you get a new car sale out of it, that's all the better.
That's great. That was fine.
Yeah, could be. So it might be that right there.
That's awful tight fit, but
Yeah, it is.
you know that whole tail of the gate can go over? It's got a 4-inch
Yeah.
or better right here that I can
Get
all
adjust-
move over.
Adjust it that way. Or maybe that.
Yeah, the lower gate's to the left, right?
Yeah, and the upper
Yeah, and
one's
up was to the right.
So a little bit.
Probably doesn't realize it.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad.
But he has to make an appointment for
Look up. Okay, what's this guy? All right, here we are.
Keep going.
Tell us how this happened.
Well, we just decided that in our business, in being a talk show host, you read commercials, and that gets sort of boring and trite. And so we decided, wouldn't it be more fun instead of just reading something to actually go drive the car?
Let's start again.
Okay, we are. Okay.
Go ahead. Let's
And now
start.
we're not what?
Well, this is how it all started. I'm familiar with WHJJ. It's a famous radio talk show that everybody in Rhode Island listens to. They call up in the air and they speak their minds, and Steve Cass is very, very well known in the state, and everybody listens to his time on the air especially. And he called me up and he wanted to drive a Range Rover for a month because he eventually wants to buy one. And he talks about it on the air. So we worked up a deal. It was really Steve's idea, which was great, to promote the product and to promote Jake Kaplan's, and to get the word out about Range Rover.
So what happened?
So we gave him one for 5 weeks. It was really for 4 weeks, but it ended up going into 5. And he talks about it for 60 seconds on the air and ad-libs a lot, but there's a basic script. He'll talk about the lease programs, all the nice features of the Range Rover. He ad-libs a lot. Sometimes he goes to 3 minutes. And he drives it around town to all the functions. He's very active in the community, in the whole state. And he talks about it, promotes us. And he happens to love the product. So people believe him.
Okay.
They have faith in him. And
Well, I won't do a commercial if I don't believe in the product. I just won't do it. So, I mean, I can't sell something that I don't believe in. I have trouble lying. It's a hereditary thing. My father.
Had you driven a Range Rover before this?
Never, no. I've always admired them and looked at them and never touched one.
When did you become aware of the product?
I've always been aware of it, I guess. I mean, even from the days of the old Land Rover, watching them on some of the old movies or whatnot in Africa, going on safari. But and friends of mine have had them, and so I've been in them a few times, but never drove them.
Tell me about your 4 weeks of it.
I just loved it. I mean, it's being a big guy, I'm 6'4", and you like to have a little bit of space, and you have that. The ride is just incredible. It's like a limousine. And if you want to go in bad weather, it goes. And I didn't take it off-road. I've never done that, but they tell me it's amazing.
And what has happened now? Can you remember some of the things you said on the air that were funny?
Specifically, I talked about, I think, in terms of the technical ends of the car, the brakes.
Any human interest stuff.
I thought the braking system was the finest I've ever, of any car. I don't know why, but I mean, it's just the most effective braking system of any automobile I've driven. And the easiest. I mean, just touch it and you don't get jolted, but it just stops in a nice, easy grade, which is what you want a brake to do. It handles great. Joke-wise, I mean, it's really not. We don't really do humor about it because it's not that kind of subject. But
and I think too, you did mention on the air about how you can go black tie with the Range Rover, or you can go
off-road,
for hamburgers or
you
whatever.
can take it to the opera Saturday night, or skiing on the weekend, or off-roading on Sunday. No question.
Your face must be recognizable around town. Did anybody see you in the car and say?
Oh, sure.
What happened?
I think a lot of people see me and ask me, when do I have to give it back? Because they know I only had it for a month.
And we've seen a lot more floor traffic. We've actually, I think, increased sales because people keep hearing about it. They see Steve in it. He goes to a lot of charity functions. He has a breakfast club with all our kind of customers that they meet every morning at 5 in the morning.
No, not quite. 7:30. It's early enough.
Mm-hmm.
What happened the other morning when you were driving another of Sherry's brands of cars? Don't tell me which one it is, but tell me what happened. When you heard it was going to snow, tell me that too.
Well, I was driving this very exotic sports car and kind of missed my Range Rover anyway, and they predicted a blizzard. So I told my audience that I don't think it's appropriate to drive a sports car in a blizzard. So maybe they'll give me the Range Rover for the snowstorm. And they did. And my audience wants to kill me, having the luxury of being able to do that. They were pretty angry at me.
So did you actually drive it in the snow?
I did. Oh, I brought the other car back and took the Range Rover out in the blizzard, and it was great.
And I think we're going to have to let him keep it for a while.
I don't know.
Because he likes it.
It's really tough to give it back.
So this was a good arrangement for you too, then, right?
Oh, I'm loving every minute of it, of course. I mean, I'm the ultimate beneficiary, no question. I mean, I hope Sherry does too, obviously. No, I love
She
the
wants
car.
to sell you a car.
Well, I mean, I'm sure, but it's fun driving it. And it's a fun car to buy.
And Sherry, how this has worked out for you?
Oh, people do know about Range Rovers, especially the Range Rover buyer. But there's a lot more people that keep hearing the name, and they keep hearing how great the car is, and how it's a status car too. But once people get in it and drive it, you can't compare it to anything else. I won't even mention any of the brands, but.
But I'm talking more specifically about this kind of an arrangement, how this worked.
Everybody talks about it. I hear more feedback when I'm out and about town, and from customers who come in, about they've heard the ad and they think it's great, and You know, let me go sit in one of these Range Rovers. I think we've really sold some cars from, he's helped to sell them. Because he's
Yeah.
so pro Range Rover.
Well, the other thing is too, and
Unbelievable.
I believe in the lease ideas too. I mean, I really think that's probably the way to go. At least it makes sense to me. And one of the problems with Range Rover is the price. You know, it's an expensive car. But the lease programs are very attractive.
They're very
And
competitive.
very few people seem to know about it. And so I would think I was able to shed some light on that.
And it's a very affordable way of advertising because it's on the air every day, 2 spots. He put a little over 1,000 miles in 5 weeks on a demo. So it was very affordable for us in this economy.
Well, that's
Talking about cutaways, what are you talking about? For a long time I never understood, unless you sit in the editing room, you wouldn't know what's going on here.
that's my job.
It's your job. I used to hate that part of it.
That's why I like to go with him to make sure I get my cutaways.
Very natural.
I want some nodding, head nodding.
Nodding and moving.
Nodding and
listening.
moving.
Normally
Do
you want
you
the
think I could be a
interview.
movie star?
I think
I
you
always
already are.
wanted to be.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
In
did.
what kind of movie?
Since I was like 5 years old.
Shakespeare?
Anything.
Anything
I mean,
didn't matter.
anything. I just wanted to be famous.
Well, you are.
Not yet. He's helping me to become famous.
Actually,
Right?
becoming
He even
famous.
mentions my name, and you know what else we didn't mention? He's going to be interviewing the shop foreman.
Since we started working for Range Rover.
Did we get that on
And
there?
you're a service manager from Australia. He's a riot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Bruce.
Bruce will be fun. We're going to get him on too.
You should get that on, because it's really, I think that's part of, one of the greatest things, that he's gonna interview some of our people.
They would sort of, everybody would warm up the customer, and then Jake would make the final sale, I guess. But,
Would you say that again? Jake Kaplan was built on the personality of Jake Kaplan.
well, at Jake Kaplan's, if you knew Jake Kaplan, he was a dynamic personality, and the business was really Jake Kaplan's, and everyone thought of it as Jake Kaplan. So now Jake is no longer here, and we have to do the same thing with Sherry. And we have to develop that personality as well. And so far, no one really knows Sherry Kaplan.
Was he your husband or your father?
My father. My father. And we worked together for many years. And I miss him. But he's still here. And we love cars. I love it. And my baby loves it. And to say that was very important about this advertising program is that Steve talks to the people who work here. He's going to interview the shop foreman on the air. Hopefully Bob Burns will talk on the air. He'll call up and Steve will ask him questions. And that's really one of the greatest things, because he talks about us. He'll talk about me. He'll talk about the service. He'll talk about sales. He'll talk about leasing. So that's really helped get the feel of what owning a Range Rover really is. Now you can adjust the seats while the keys are off, so you can be comfortable. And here are the keys. And I'm going to get in on the other side and show you how everything works.
Go ahead and do it. Don't look at the camera.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Don't look at the camera.
Okay, okay, let's start over. How long are you going to do? Let's start over
30
here.
seconds.
All right, you have your horn. Now this, you really have to remember where the horn is, okay, because it's on the blinkers.
Yes.
All right, so when you need it, just remember that it's on your left.
So going like this, right?
And you have your lights
Uh-huh.
right here. Your high beams are on your blinker.
Okay.
And over here you have your windshield wipers.
What's that switch for?
That is an intermittent switch, and it slows it down. You can really slow down
Slow it
the...
down.
You don't want to take this. We're talking about Jags.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, you know, if he did
We have
come,
to say the Range Rover is the greatest car going, right?
just tell him to come here and tell him to speak to me or someone else who knows about this, and we'll help him out. That we get it right the first time, we make the customer happy, and they'll keep coming.
He didn't buy it here, though.
Doesn't matter. We still service the vehicle even though it wasn't bought.
Noontime. Can you imagine that?
Must have been
He was panicked. He said he's had I said, is that your Jaguar? He said, yeah. That's your Range Rover? I said, yeah. I said, I'll switch keys with it. He wanted.
Just open it. And they go back and forth.
What's his first name?
Harry.
Harry.
You're good.
Trio.
And Farah Ian.
Alright, well, next time I'm up that way, I'll stop by and say hi.
Go ahead.
I live right behind it.
That's right.
What's a new one?
What's the difference between a new one and an old one? What year have you got? 90. Oh. You can't talk to me. I'm okay.
She doesn't exist.
We're getting into this range.
Right. Just that.
Okay.
Now this is the regular cow Jake, okay? The only thing that's different, when you take the gear selector, the foot has to be on the brake.
Okay.
Okay? With that.
It's got a running board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it. Step right over those. Okay.
Sure. Yep. Seats and everything. See you in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right.